And what's going on? Welcome to the new Beast Mode virtual drum machine. This is the Red Special Edition. Now I just want to go over a few things with you guys. For example, we added a lot of new features. We made a major update on the GUI interface, as you can see right here in this little graphic that we have up here. Some of the new improvements, we added the new Beast Mode reverb, also a new Midi Out routing feature, and we also added the new Beast Mode compressor, which has the model behavior of tubes and transistors. And this is going to give you the power and precision that only a plugin can provide. So the result for the compressor that we put on here is basically capabilities that producers will love and give their drums a lot of power and punch. Now, we also added on a reverb module where you can select your modes. We have different modes. Now, when it comes to your room size, your early reflection levels, your pre-delay and things like that, we added a decay time on there. So, that basically determines how long for the reflections in the room, before they run out of energy. A lot of times long reverb times, they sound impressive on instruments, and, we just wanted to add that onboard effect. We also added on a damping feature, which a lot of times the reverb tails will lose the higher frequencies as they bounce around, producing a warmer sound with less edge. But it doesn't sound artificial sounding. We got the damper on there if we want to create that warmer sound. The damping affects overall, the tone. So if you set it oppositely, you get a bright sounding song, to warm it up a little bit, if the song needs more air. What else we put on there? We put on a width knob, which is going to allow expanding or collapsing of your stereo image. I think we put a mix on there so you can edit the balance of the dry and basically the reverb sound. It basically serves as an insert effect. So you can set that for your desired blend. If the reverb is a send effect, it's usually set to reverb only. When the return control determines the overall reverb level in the mix. So we got that little guy in there. We also threw a gate in there. Now the gates are pretty cool because they were like kind of big in the 80s. A gate, how can I explain that? That's like, think of it kind of like a door opening and closing in your house. Because the gated reverb, basically it sets the level below which the reverb tail is cut off. Using relatively high gate settings was a popular effect in the 80s in a lot of synth pop music. And we got that decay on there, so that reverb tail you can truncate all that. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and get into the plugin itself and let's check it out. All right, so let's go ahead and get into some of the sounds. Now, as you can see right here, we have the Beast Mode virtual drum machine. This is the special edition red. And as you can see, we made some major improvements on the GUI. We updated some of the graphic imaging inside the GUI itself. Right here, I'm going to go ahead and give you a brief tutorial. This right here is for your volume control. If you want to have control over your whole entire mix. Now, this right here is something global. So, whether you want to adjust your drum sounds individually or over a global scale, this will do it globally. This icon here will give you individual control over each and every pad. Now, if you've seen some of the previous tutorials I've done on the Beast Mode virtual drum machine, you would be pretty familiar with what I'm saying right now. But if not, you can watch those tutorial videos also, because as far as this module here, nothing has changed. You have individual control over each drum pad. You have individual control over your pitch, your feedback, your mod, your low pass filter, and adjusting the start and end points on your samples. You also have your choice of a low pass, high pass, a band pass 1, a band pass 2, as well as a notch. You have a mute icon here to mute your pads. Now, for example, on the second bank here, I don't have any sounds loaded up, but just to give you a general idea, we added the choke group feature now. So you have the ability to choke off your pads, whether, if you want to choke off 1 pad, 2 pads, 3 pads, or all the pads. You have this icon here. You have onboard effects such as your EQ. You have a built-in delay. You also have a built-in EQ, as well as a built-in compressor. You have control of your cutoff, your reso, your pan. We also added a MIDI Out feature and also a Reverb Module, which I was just talking about. Well, we'll get into all of that. But for example, what I came up with was I wanted to have a drum station, that's not overly complex. It won't give you an extremely large learning curve. It's something that you could jump in. You can make your drum beat, you can have your onboard effects, and you have everything built right in. Now, I'm using this inside the machine right now. You know, and somebody might say, well, what can this do that machine can't do, you know, or et cetera, et cetera. But, you know, that's not what this is about. You know, what this is about is a virtual drum machine plugin with a very advanced and intuitive workflow that you can use in other DAW environments, you know, such as Persona Studio One, you know, Cubase, you know, Ableton Live, Reaper, programs like that, you know, because, you know, there are some people out here who do not have machine, you know, and they still want to have that MPC, you know, that MPC style of workflow, you know, and have everything right at your fingertips right here. This is a major workflow. And of course, you know, people who do have machines, such as myself, when I use it with machine, I love using this with machine. I mean, look at it. It looks, you know, it's a beast. It's just a monster, man. So when I'm using this with machine, I like to see this on the screen while I'm using machine, you know, just for the dopeness factor. It's just dope. It's a drum machine, you know, and I can get in there and just bang my drum sounds out. So you see right here, what I did was I loaded up a bank kit. You know, you have a save icon here, save and load. You also have a browse menu here. You also have real-time browsing over your sounds. You know, for example, when I'm hitting this kick here, you notice that you have a scroll file list knob here. Where I actually can scroll through the files like this. Now, this knob moves extremely fast. This knob basically is when you have very large folders of sounds. So if you want to get through those sounds really quick, that's what this knob is for. Now, this icon right here moves a little bit slower. This is when you really want to get in there and just, you know, scroll through them very, very slowly. That's what this this knob right here is for. And again, this icon here, this is for bank 1. This icon here is for bank 2. Right here is your drum pads. Okay, your kits that you load will be displayed right here. You can copy up to 64 patches, but you have unlimited kit creation. You can create as many kits as you want. You also can import WAV files. You can see right here on the display. And this icon right here, basically what it does, it lets you know what pad that you're hitting on. If I'm hitting here, this pad 16. I'm over here, it's showing pad 1. This is actually a folder of sounds that I was going in. 2, 3. Now on this drum machine, we have it going, the pads are going 1 to 16 like this. You know, in traditional drum machines, it's usually going 1 like this to 4, you know, then 5 to 8 and so on and so on. But we got it going from 1, 2, 3, 4, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you know, it's going like that. Okay. So again, this is about workflow. This is a virtual drum machine that you can use in any DAW environment. And we also added some secret weapons up under the hood. Okay, for example, let's say if I was on this kick right here, which is kind of like a Dirty South kick. It's a Dirty South snare. So, and you can see up to the side over there, you have your level meters that are sounding off right here. So you can watch your levels. Let's say if I wanted to add a little flavor onto this snare. Again, this is all about workflow. I can go to my little compressor knob right here. Okay, so the compressor knob is not engaged. You know, we left the switch off. This is your on switch, okay, and this is your off switch. When you have it like this, your compressor is engaged. So if I went to the snare like this right here, you know, if I wanted to, you know, I don't know, it could be, you know, if you're in a mix and I don't know, that snare might have been low or something, you can come over here to your gain. You know, lower it. You know, basically whatever the case may be. You want to adjust your threshold. You do that here. Your ratio. You know, your attack. You know, as well as your release. So that's a cool little feature. You can get in there and, you know, go ahead and tweak out your sounds, and you can close down the window like that. You know, and again, that's up under the hood. So again, that's a major workflow, man. That's dope. That's something that when you're on your sounds, you can get in here and just say, hey, look, I don't have to jump through screen, through tab, you know, figuring out how to route this, route that, dragging and dropping and all that. I'm just hitting on my sound, boom, hit the switch, go in there, start tweaking my sound, boom. Then I say, okay, I'm doing that. And then I'm like, let me add a little reverb onto that. I jump over to my reverb module. You have your normal mode here, as well as a freeze mode here. Okay. Again, here's your switch to engage it. You tap it on the snare. Like, y'all want to add a little reverb on that. Get my switch. Here's your gate. Here's your width. Here's the size. Here's the mix. If you want to make it more wet, you want to adjust the damper on that. The width. you have complete and total control over that. And you also have these LED indicators down below, you know, so you can know exactly what you're doing. You know, if you want a little more dry, you know, make it a little more wet. Adjust the gate. Okay, so you can get in there and tune your sounds that way. So again, you go over here, just a little switch here, you close that menu down. So again, that is a dope workflow, man. You can get in here, you know, start banging out the drum sounds, get in here, start making your mix like really, really quick. And again, you have real-time browsing of sounds. Like for example, if I'm over here, if I'm tapping on this snare, let's say I want to change that. Just that quick, man. It's point and click. It doesn't get no easier than that. Go to my little files here. See that? Real-time browsing. So you don't have to jump from a browser menu and all this. Here you can go, you know, just jump in through these little sounds. And you say, okay, well, what if I want to get into even more sounds in them folders? Okay, no problem. We have a browse button here. You hit your browse button, which is automatically, it links to the folder of the sound that you're in. As you can see right here, here's some of the beast mode sounds. Again, this comes with a very large library of sounds. And we also put in a bunch of drum kits from the website. We got custom, I think we put 10 drum kits in there. So you have all original source material, brand new sounds, fresh, clean, from the VIP SOUNDLAB. We also threw in our newest drum kit as a bonus, the new HD Purgatory drum kit, which has some sinister sounds in it, man. Trust me, them sounds is banging. So again, as you can see right here, you can go in here, you can load any sound this way. Again, you can import your own WAV files. Also, you do not have to be stuck with just the drum sounds that come with the plugin, you know, because at first we were like, well, you know, we put them in a format where the drum kits, you know, is so our sounds don't be floating around out there. But we also said, you know what, there's producers out here who need those WAV files, man. Like they need these WAV files, you know, because the drum kit itself, it comes with a very large library of drum sounds. So if you're going into another DAW environment, you know, or for example, you might want to load them up in a different type of instrument or whatever the case may be, or you might just want to load them up in your machine. You might want to load some drum sounds up, you know, for like whatever reason. You know, we put that as a resource in here. You have the WAV files also, you know, and again, you can import your own WAV files. And I'll get to importing of the WAV files in a second, because I'm also importing some loops. You could import, you know, horns, basses, basically whatever you want. Okay. And we also have a save load icon. Now when I hit this icon here, you have the ability to copy patches. Okay. You can create your own patches. You can load instruments. You can save instruments. Okay. You can load your banks. You can save banks. So the endless creativity is here. I mean, the potential is endless. You can sit here and just create unlimited drum kits, unlimited sounds. I mean, whatever it is you want to do, you know, for your sound design, you know, if you want to tweak out your sounds using some of the modules in here, you have that ability. For example, when I press load instrument here, okay, here's some of the drum kits that I put up inside the plugin itself. And you have to excuse me if I'm talking kind of fast, because I'm very excited about it, because I played a major part in this plugin, and we basically been working very hard at it, you know, for you guys. And another major thing is we're keeping this very, very affordable. We're not going over the top with extremely expensive with extremely high price. It's gonna, you know, like tax your pockets. This plugin is only going to be $39. So again, you said that, I mean, rather you heard that right. $39, 39 bucks for a virtual drum machine when you're getting all these sounds and all these onboard effects. I mean, come on, man, you cannot beat that. I mean, there's nothing you really can say bad about it. It's a tool, it's a resource, it's something that you will have for a lifetime that you can use in your inside your lab to help get your ideas and your sound out. Okay, it comes with the beast mode manual and instructions, a very detailed manual and instruction. We also included some LCD screen fonts. You know, if you want to change some of the fonts inside the plugin on the graphic GUI, you have that ability. I threw in an Ableton Live 9 kit map. Yes, it does work inside Ableton Live. We also have all the samples of drum sounds here, and I threw in some machine projects. We also have, what did I put in there? I put in a a Vegas mode, where, you know, you can press play and it shows all the dials and knobs and stuff like that going on. I might show that later on in the video, because another cool thing about it, I mean, because, you know, if you had to get in here and if, you know, if you wanted to map out, you know, parameters of the plugin, you have that option. Let me get this out of the way so you can see what I'm talking about. You have that ability. You know, for example, if I go over here, let's say I'm on page 16, I got to move this over a little bit more. You know, if I wanted to map out, let's say the delay knob, you have that ability to come in here and you know, and do your automation. So yes, the plugin will map to Machine, Persona Studio, Cubase, Reaper, whatever. Everything will automate. And you know, you can come in here, you can automate, you know, your start and end points, your modulation, pitch, volume. I mean, anything on the plugin, you just about can automate. Okay, we also threw in a Midi Out feature. I was asking some music technology consultants about this. What would be some of the major features that a lot of producers would want to see in a plugin, and they were saying, man, Midi Out. So I was like, you know what? Let's go ahead and incorporate that to the plugin too, because the VIP SoundLab, we're a company that your opinion matters. What you say matters. When you talk, we listen. You know, we're not one of them companies that when you write us, or if you're speaking with us, we're more personal. We're on a more, you know, we build a rapport with you on a one-on-one basis, because what you say makes us do what we do. So when you tell us, hey, you guys need to do this, you guys need to do that, you know, I get on the line with some of my support engineers and my techs, you know, and a lot of my software developers, and we make it happen. So as you can see right here, this is bank 1. What happens is, let me shut this down for a minute. You have 2 banks. So if I'm over on bank 2, again, I don't have any sounds loaded up here. When I hit this, you notice how the MIDI bank changes and outs. I don't have the MIDI out set up on bank 2, but if I wanted to, you just sit here, you go here under this, you select channel 2. These are your channels. 3, channel 4, you know, whatever you know, however you want to set that up. You know, if you want to do all, you have a choice of 1 through 16. Over here, this is more or less like your identifiers, letting you know what bank you're on. These are your pads. Here's your drum map, in other words, and right here, here's the auto color assignment. So let's shut this down. Let's go back to bank 1, and as you can see right here, it lets you know how you're arranging the colors on your pads, because again, this is just for organizational purposes. If you know you want to have all your kicks this color, hi-hats that color, you know, snares this color, whatever the case may be, you know, we threw that in there as you know, basically just for organizational reasons. You know, we like to keep everything neat and organized. And again, here's your MIDI outs, and it lets you know what pad that you're on, pad 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and et cetera, et cetera. Now the GUI in the background, you know, that's why when I move this like this, is like it's identifying the pads in the background. So don't pay attention to that. This right here lets you know the pads, and this right here is how you can assign your settings for that. And again, I'm really excited about this. So you have to excuse me if I'm talking kind of fast right now, because, you know, I'm really loving this plugin, man. I mean, it's very intuitive. It's something that you will use in your lab for a lifetime. Okay, so that's the MIDI. You have your MIDI outs. You know, again, you have your reverb right here. You know, if you want to get here and adjust your mix, you can go ahead and do that. You also have a global EQ right here. Okay, when you turn this switch on or off, okay, like this here, you can come over here and you can adjust your highs. Okay, you can adjust your mids, you know, your lows. You know, again, complete and total control. That is the emphasis here. Fast workflow, you can get in here, you know, and you also can control your reso here as well as your cutoff here. And again, all of this can be automated. So you also have a delay here. And again, this is individual control. So let's say, for example, if I was on this snare right here and I wanted that to, you know, have a little delay on it or whatever. You know, then you can come over here to your mod and adjust that. If you want it faster, if you want it slower. While over here, it's not affecting it. See that? Only this one is being affected. So when I come over here, notice how the switch changes. But when I'm back over here, you know, it's back on. Okay, so that's pretty much how that works in a nutshell. Now these switches here, down, that's on. Okay, up is off. With these switches, down closes the windows and up will open the windows. Okay, so don't get confused by that. Yeah, man, I mean, and what more can I say, man? It's a powerful tool. You know, you can use it in other DAW environments. And again, it's for that producer who wants that MPC style workflow, but you have that on screen, just the cool factor, the dopeness factor, where you can see everything on the screen, get in there while you're making your drum beats, you know, and get in there. Over here in Machine, what I was doing on the sound tab, I think with the MIDI, I was transposing the notes like this right here. As you can see right there, see how that's transposing up? And again, this is on the piano roll, because you can have your notes on the piano roll, or you can have them here on the main screen here. So if I'm using, let's say this without the keyboard mode on the Machine, see that? I can go through the sounds like this. But let's say if I'm on the first instance or the first sound, which is the plugin, it brings the plugin up like that. Now, again, this is not something that you have to do. This is just something that I did in Machine. If you don't know how to transpose your notes in Machine, what you can do is under your sound level, your output, on your MIDI channel, you have the transpose icon right here. You know, if you want to, you know, trigger these individual notes like that, because then it just saves you time where you don't have to sit there and take your mouse and, you know, if you like on Contact or something like that, and then you come over here and you tap on these sounds to get your sounds to play. The transpose will help prevent that. You know, you can just tap on the keys. But again, this is a different type of setup. So let's say if I go back to my Machine controller and I press keyboard like this, okay, now the screen stays locked with the plugin open like this. Okay, and when I tap on my sounds, I can go through it like that. Okay, so again, that's up to you. So what I did was I prepared a quick demo. Let's go ahead and get into the demo. Let's go ahead and see the plugin actually in action. So again, as you can see right there, you see me just going through, you know, some of the modules that are built into the plugin. Now, if you notice how the sound, you know, you might want to rewind the video and just see me just playing around with the EQ, you know, the reverb and the compressor and stuff like that. You see how it's all at your fingertips. Again, it's all about workflow. You know, it's not about, you know, what can this do different than anything else. It's not about that. What it's about is about workflow. It's about something, you know, a virtual drum machine. It's a plugin. It looks dope. It's right here on your computer screen. You know, it gives you that visual, you know, that visual feedback, you know, while you're on your hardware controller or whatever. When you're looking at your computer screen, you don't have to jump around from tab to tab. You know, you don't have to jump around from this to that. You have everything on board. And that's the emphasis, you know, the emphasis I was getting at. You see how I took those sounds and immediately began to, you know, adjust the bass, you know, bring out some of the treble, bring out some of the highs, you know, add my reverb, add my compressor in a matter of what? That was like, what, a minute? it was like a minute, 2 minutes. And we got immediate results, and the mix immediately began to sound better. Just that quick. You know, like right there, that is like too much bass in that kick right there. Like that is like, you know, I got like too much bass now. I was like getting crazy with it. But again, I overemphasized it and I did exaggerate it. You know, as far as, you know, doing digital clipping and things of that nature, you know, I wasn't concerned about that. This is just a demo. You know, of course, you would get in there, you know, and you would fine tune your mix. You would get in there and be a lot more technical. You would get in there and basically, you know, fine tune your sounds. So again, for $39, I mean, come on, man. You owe it to yourself. You cannot beat that. So with that being said, it's your boy Fontaine, VIP SOUNDLAB.com. Be sure to come by the website, www.vipsoundlab.com. We have free drum kits. We have free machine tutorials. We have free monthly giveaways. We have a lot of controller editor templates. We have a lot of templates. We have a lot of session files, you know, for machine, personas, Cubase. I mean, you name it. We have drum kit imaging files, you know, if you want to make custom drum kit images, you know, and we're just going to keep doing it, man. I mean, we're going to keep uploading these free tutorials for you guys. We're going to keep making dope plugins for you guys. As a matter of fact, I shouldn't even be talking about this, but yeah, we have, okay. Yo, I know there's people out there who like synthesizer sounds and, you know, they like to get in there and tweak out the oscillators and the filters, you know, and, you know, because that's basically sound design. You know, you take a hardware device, you know, you can grab a preset or whatever and you have to tweak it out. I mean, you just can't put a preset out there, but you can take, you know, hardware sounds, you can tweak them out, you know, and make your own, you know, sounds and stuff like that. But I don't want to limit you just to, let's say like a kit with a bunch of sounds, and then you have these sounds and you can't do nothing with it. Like, oh man, okay, I'm getting tired of that and I got to go back and get another one. No, I don't want to do that. See, what I want to do is I'm going to make a synthesizer where you can get in there and you can do your own sound design. You're going to get in there, be able to tweak your own sounds out, you know, and create your own, you know, instrument riffs and stuff like that. But again, that's another project. That's something that, you know, we'll be dropping that soon. You know, not to say you couldn't do it on here, because actually you could do it on here. You know, if you did have, let's say, like a synthesizer riff or something like that, you could drop those on the pads too. You know, then you can go to keyboard mode. Then you can go to your choke groups like this right here, you know, and choke off certain pads, or use the voices, you know, and double some of the sounds up, you know, by turning the choke groups off. So it works, you know, just how a keyboard would anyway. I mean, that's basically all MIDI is anyway. It's triggering sounds. So technically, with a drum pads, you can make a synthesizer. Technically, I mean, you can do that. I mean, I've seen a lot of Native Instruments expansions where, you know, you can take some of their instrument sounds, load them on the zone range. I mean, the zone map, and you can make them like that too, and, you know, just loop them up or whatever. So I guess technically you can do that, you know, with this too. All right, man. So look at the time, man. I'm running too long. I'm talking too much here. It's your boy Fontaine, VIPSoundLab.com. Be sure to come by the website. Check out the new Beast Mode virtual drum machine. It is tight, man. You got to just believe me when I tell you, man, this is a monster. You know, you definitely want to have it in your lab. And for $39, you can't beat that. Peace.